Welcome to episode 10 of Dungeon Crawl Talk Soup. In this episode, I talk with my friend Liz about all things fitness. Hope you enjoy the show. In case this is your first time watching Dungeon Crawl Talk Soup, my show is one part podcast with my friends, one part perilous permadeath gaming challenge. Mostly I chat with my friends about a topic they love, but rarely get the chance to talk about at length. But at the same time, I'm trying to get my first win at Dungeon Crawl Stone Soup. The catch is, if my character dies, the episode ends. Hope you enjoy the show. Okay, so now we're live, and that's your cue, everybody, to go nuts. Welcome to the show. This is Dungeon Crawl Talk Soup, episode 10. We made it to 10. Liz, say hi to everybody on the internet.
Hi, everybody on the internet.
Okay, I'm here with my friend Liz to chat for a little while about the topic of her choosing. That's the typical way this show goes down, and at the same time, I'll be playing Dungeon Crawl Stone Soup while talking with her. And this is episode 4 of the same character. And Liz, you know the basics concept of the show, right?
Yes, so you're going to play while we chat, and then as soon as you die, our conversation is over.
Yeah, and the good news is I can talk to you whenever I want to. So it's very possible my character will die. Oh, there's the sound of me sharing the game with you. You can see the game now?
Yes, yeah, my husband was like, you're going to have to comment on how he's doing in the game. So, I think I should set the precedent that, I have no idea what's happening in video games. I'm not going to comment because I don't know what's happening.
Yeah, that's totally fine. I actually usually find that people don't pay attention to the game at all.
That makes sense. Yeah, so you can let me know if you die.
Yeah, I'm just going to have to interrupt you and say, Liz, I have to stop you right there because it's time for us to hang up for everybody online. And then we'll hang up the stream, and then I'll say goodbye to you shortly thereafter.
Okay, that sounds good.
But it's not...
I used to play video games with my brother, but I was the most delinquent partner. He just wanted to play with me so badly all the time. So come on, play MLB with me. And I would just mess around with the characters. I'd make them do ballet when they're supposed to be catching a ball in the outfield. I was just I'm the worst with video games. So
that's that's a lot like why I have you here, is because I want people to play this video game with me. And rather than force you to actually play and get to know the game, I'm just gonna play it while you're nearby.
Oh, I like that.
My daughter is similar with when Betsy wants to play video games with Andy, or it's more like he constantly asks her to play, and then she'll just sort of goof around and not actually drive the Mario Kart in the right direction. And
yes, I did that too. I always had the guy going, no, wrong way.
No, wrong way.
Yeah.
But she doesn't care. She'll just go wherever she wants.
Oh yeah, she and I could really do some damage.
That's what sisters are for, I think. So a big part of the show is me having an excuse to play this video game, but very rarely do people pay any attention to what I'm doing in the game. I will admit, though, we are pretty far along in this character, so there's a fairly good chance I will die early on. So we need to get kind of straight into your topic. And that's all right. We were so before the show we started talking about the topics, and you shared and we decided on the topic we wanted to discuss. But I wanted to mention to you, since we're here live, is that we can, if things go too long, if we get tired of one topic, we can switch to the other.
Okay.
And it's because it's really just our chance to chat. I'm not entirely sure anyone will show up and watch this. So it's really just an excuse for us to get together and chat. And now for the most part, the show is about me getting together with people I haven't talked with in a little while to chat with them, but I talk with you fairly often. But it's still a good excuse for me to hear you rant about something, and that's what I'm excited about, is that rather than catching up on our lives, let's talk about the topic that you have been anxious to get a chance to talk about.
That sounds great.
So what I wanted to do was introduce the fact that you had brought a couple of topics to bear, and we decided we were going to talk a little bit about fitness and fitness habits, and that we have some differing perspectives, you thought, possibly?
Yeah, I think it's going to be a bit of a Venn diagram in that, I think we agree on some of the main principles and stuff and enjoy some of the same things, but I think we go at it slightly differently and may have different goals for it. So I'm just kind of curious to hear about your perspective on some things, and then like share sort of my perspective and some of my like pet peeves about I guess it's mostly not necessarily about like, getting in shape and like how to do that. It's more like how people feel about fitness and other people's like workout routines. And I think it's a very interesting, like sort of psychological experiment to like see how people feel when you talk to them about physical fitness and exercise. Like it does say a lot about the person.
I think that's interesting in and of itself that you have a bunch of different things in that topic. So I agree. I would say that one of the things that's interesting to me is that you've always been so fit and an excellent athlete in the time I've known you. You've been an athlete basically for darn near your whole life.
Yeah, my parents definitely took the approach of like sign her up for everything and see what she's interested in. And I was pretty mixed because my mom was a ballerina, like a very serious ballerina through college, and then my dad was a very serious lacrosse player through college. So like very different perspectives on sports and very different kinds of sports. But yeah, I've been a competitive athlete like as long as I can remember and through college. And then after college, I didn't really compete, but still like definitely participated in a lot. I'm a big runner, so I've like done a lot of half marathons and other races. And so definitely consider myself to be an athlete. And like, aside from postpartum, have like really exercised consistently for basically my entire memorable life.
Were you running track and cross country?
Yeah, so I guess my main sport up until high school was figure skating. That was really what I was mostly focused on. And I like dabbled in soccer and lacrosse, and I think I played basketball and field hockey at some point for like a hot minute. But mostly was focused on figure skating, and then ended up signing up for cross country because I had to do a sport in the fall for high school.
Okay.
And really like fell in love with it, and then promptly injured myself, and then coming back from it, serious about it.
What type of injury?
Yeah. It was pretty ridiculous. So I like started running, and I was actually pretty good at it, and so I like pushed it. And apparently, I'm not very good at like expressing pain because I ended up getting like a very severe stress fracture that like usually I guess you see like a little bit of cloudiness and like splintering on the x-ray, and mine was like, here's the break in your ankle.
Oh my gosh. Oh no.
Oh my God. Yeah, it was ridiculous.
So this is your first year of cross country that this happened, and you hurt your ankle, but you had been figure skating for years previous to this?
Yes. And I think that's also what kind of I actually have pretty strong ankles because of figure skating.
I was gonna say that's got to be one of the most ankle intensive sports you could have had.
Like I've never rolled my ankle ever in anything, which is kind of amazing. But yeah, that was pretty bad. I think that what made it worse was that I increased my distance like way too quickly because I was new to the sport and was trying to be competitive. And then on top of that, I was also skating at the time, and that boot, like against the pressure that it was already feeling, I think was really a bad idea.
Right.
Yeah. So I was a figure skater, sort of transitioned into cross country, and then have kept up running since then. But also because I'm old and like sitting at a desk for like most of the day, like running every day is just not an option for me anymore. So I've started doing a lot more cross training and fitness classes, and kind of trying to stay in shape and keep from getting injured, which has been going pretty well so far.
So let's talk about the approaches aspect of it.
So I thought about this topic.
Oh, your audio just got way better.
Oh, good. I moved closer to my computer, so I'll just stay here.
Okay, cool.
Next to my computer and my wine. So I thought about this topic because I was thinking about the last time I saw you was for your birthday. And
not a very healthy event.
Not a healthy event. Felt pretty sick the next day in like so many ways, but worth it. But I was thinking about it because you really put a lot of effort. You and Jess put a lot of effort into like getting fit for your 40th and,
that's right.
And being the best of your life. And so I one of the first questions that I wanted to ask you is, okay, it's been almost a month now have you kept up with that? Has it like totally fallen off? Like what has happened since you reached your goal?
What an excellent question. I don't think I've worked out a single time as a 40-year-old.
That's what I was expecting you to say. So
Yeah.
this is what I meant, like when I said that we probably have different like approaches and
Yeah.
perspectives on it. Because like that is wild to me.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I'm gonna get back on the horse literally starting tomorrow. But I took a little bit of time off in celebration, and then we had a vacation coming up, and I started to do some workouts planning for that, and then I had a single dad week for a week, and I just didn't have the mental capacity to work out in addition to that. And then we went on this vacation for a week, and then for Thanksgiving, and then now on the other side of Thanksgiving, I'm a big fat loaf full of food from all different vacations and stuff, and ready to get back on the horse and get fit again. But you touched on the exact point, which is that like I think that my biggest aspect of fitness has to be goal oriented, and I think that that's very different than your like basis.
Yeah, totally. Like for me, fitness is like the constant all the time. It's like I guess I would describe it as my me time every day. Like it's the one thing,
Oh,
my like non-negotiable. I have to do this thing. I wake up an hour earlier than I need to in order to fit this into my day. And I
yeah.
do it in the morning to make sure that I fit it in. And like if I have stress dreams, it's like I have a dream that I've gone through the day and then I realize all of a sudden that I won't have time for my workout and it like makes me upset, which is totally ridiculous. But like it's much more of a sort of constant thread. And like I have the total opposite approach to you when it comes to vacations and most people when it comes to vacations and things. I'm like, oh, good. Like more time for me to work out, like more opportunity for me to like run in a new place. But I recognize that that's like not normal. and,
But
and I think it's,
I would say
I
that
think
it's
it's,
also healthier. Like to for my approach to be about fitness being for the goal of being good looking on a vacation or being as fit as I can so I can gorge the entire vacation is obviously not the most healthy way to live life, right? Like so yours comes from a course of health. Like it's just a healthier way to do things.
yeah, for me, it's like physical and mental health for sure. I think sometimes that backfires in the sense that like it becomes such a necessary constant for me that like I do get stressed out if I can't work out the way that I want to,
Mm,
or like I should be taking days off when like I just don't, or I'm like, oh, I'll do a lighter day today and like that'll count. So I think there is also that downside of like because it's so constant, it's hard to really separate from it. And that actually like really struck me when I had my first child and I literally could not move for the first like 2 weeks. Like I
right.
could, but I really wasn't supposed to be doing very much at all. Like even leaving the apartment and going for walks was kind of a big no. And it was COVID and it was like the middle of winter. So like
Oh.
it was not going anywhere. And I remember like feeling a little bit caged in and things like that. But I also remember thinking like, this is really relaxing. I have so much more time when I don't work out. Like I can just hang out. And it was like a very nice, like truly relaxing pseudo vacation
Mm-hmm.
feeling.
Well, how do you balance that? Like, how do you does that doesn't distress you that feeling occurred to you during that time, or what did you learn from that?
It definitely does. I think like, and there are times where I'll be forced to take some time off, and I've gotten better about that.
Like
But I
injuries?
think, yeah, like injuries or like I had a really bad stomach bug last week, and so I really took it easy for a couple of days. And like, I did notice that when I came back, I felt better and like
Ah.
less broken, you know,
Yeah.
which was nice. But yeah, so I think like for me, I have to figure out a better way to like incorporate those off days and to make sure that I'm finding other ways to feel satisfied and accomplished. Because I think that is also part of it is like, I love working out at the beginning of the day because I'm like, great, I started the day and I accomplished something. Like I've done my really hard thing for the day.
Oh,
I've
that's
done
incredible.
my me time thing, and now I can just like sit back and relax and like focus on whatever else happens to me today. So that I really like that aspect of it, and I think I just maybe need some other outlets for that.
Okay, well, but what's interesting here is I wanted to hear, do you have like a core set of philosophy? Like it's interesting that we've even started where we have, because we're almost delving into the parts where you're less perfectly mentally set. When I actually thought we were going to get it straight into like, okay, Liz is going to share the philosophy of fitness with everybody, and this is the way it's supposed to be. But
Yeah.
do you feel you have some, like, if you had like the 3 or 4 rules of, or the chapters of the Liz fitness book, what would they be?
Yeah, so I guess the first chapter, or maybe the introduction. I guess the introduction would be for me, fitness is very personal. Like I do the types of fitness that make me feel really good. And like, not just in terms of like physical status, but also like, yeah, accomplishment, as I mentioned, but also like um, just general well-being and like satisfaction with my workouts. And so I think that's the introduction to my book is like, you have to find the types of workouts that you really like, because otherwise you're just going to be miserable and you're never going to do it, or you're going to do it and you're just going to suffer through it. And like, there's no reason to be doing that. Like working out is, aside from people who do it as a living, is like your extracurricular time. So like you need to enjoy it. Otherwise it's not going to happen, or you're not going to have a good relationship with it. So I think that's my first thing is like, within reason, find the things that you enjoy and just do those things. So for me, my tenets of working out are that I want to run as much as I possibly can while avoiding injury.
Right.
So that's kind of the like optimization point that I'm constantly searching for. And it's changed drastically over the last like 20 years. But so for example, right now I'm 34 years old and I had a baby 6.5 months ago. And so
Congratulations.
thanks. Oh man.
I've met that baby. It's a cute baby.
He's very silly. He's officially crawling. It's a disaster.
That's a good baby.
Yeah,
I want to play with that. I want to play with a baby. It's weird for me to be saying that on a YouTube stream, but I don't care. I love that. That's a cute baby. And I'm going to play with it soon. Okay. Anyway, that's besides the point.
But yeah, so yeah, given that like physical status, I'm like running less and less fast than not less frequently, but shorter distance and less fast than I thought, than I like otherwise would be. But I have tested and I have found like if I can run 4 days a week, 5 to 6 miles at like an 8 to 8:15 pace, I can feel really good about myself and really accomplished and like really fit. But at the same time, I'm not going to break my body. And so I think that's sort of my first goal is like figure that out and then build workouts around that within my week.
That's awesome.
But that's because I love running. And I should mention that if I were in a place where I had to run on a treadmill every day, it would not be the same. Like I would not run nearly as much.
Oh yeah. So outdoor running is critical to you, is a critical aspect of it.
Yeah. And you bring up a good point that I kind of was glossing over, is that like, for me, another reason that I really want to optimize my running time is that that's my true alone time. Like I don't bring my phone. I don't listen to music. You cannot reach me. I'm always outside in the park, like just listening to noises. And I don't really have that any other time. Like otherwise my life is very noisy and very social. And I love that. But like, I need to have that disconnected time as often as possible. I guess the only other time I do that is when I'm walking my dog, and technically I'm not alone then, but like I like to have that quiet outdoor time to just kind of disconnect, reset, think about random things. I actually end up doing a lot of like work thinking during those times, like really productive work thinking.
Yeah.
um,
Do you think that fitness is best when it has the mental freedom aspect as well?
I think it kind of depends. I think sometimes I really appreciate that time to just be able to think and like have some quiet. And then I think there are other times where I'm like, I just want someone to be there telling me what to do so that I can very much focus on the task at hand and not think about anything else.
Like a trainer.
So yeah, like I don't use a trainer, but I do take classes where someone is like telling me what exercises to do all the time.
What classes? Tell me some of the classes.
So right now, prior to COVID, I was a huge Equinox fan. I had been an Equinox Fitness Club member for like 10 years and went to all the classes there and loved the gym, love all of the wonderful like products, Kiehl's products they have in the bathrooms. Barely ever showered at home. And I like could never imagine a world without Equinox, but to the point that like it actually was a blocker for me for having kids. It's like, oh my God, I'm not going to be able to go to Equinox classes.
Oh my God.
I'm not going to be able to like make the time. And it was very stressful for me to think about that. But then COVID happened, and I haven't been back to a class in person since COVID. So going on 4 years now, which is like I would go to at least 5 classes a week. Like, it's crazy.
You're big into those classes.
Yeah, huge fan.
I went to a class once with Liz. Wait, did you take me to the bar class at MNexus?
Oh,
Lindsay's bar class, right?
Yeah, that was.
I almost died.
I think you had to leave partway through.
I had to leave. I had to leave partway through because I was not feeling well. And then I came back and tried to continue and basically just half-assed it the rest of the way. That was an intense experience.
Yeah, I really like the classes because they really do like encourage you to push yourself. And again, it like even though there's a structure to it, it's like your own pace.
No, that's true.
And like your own variations. And that's actually what I like a lot about the remote classes. Because so my issues with the in-person classes are you sign up for one class and it's like 45 minutes to an hour, and it's just usually it's just one type of class. Like it's a cycling class or a yoga class or a like strength class. So I use the Peloton app for my virtual classes, and there you can do like 15 to 20 minutes of a couple of different exercises in the time that you would do one in-person class. Mm-hmm. So I kind of like it from like a diversifying my workouts sort of thing. Like maybe one day I'm not in the mood to do a full 45 minutes of cardio because I'm just like kind of tired and not into it. But like I could do 15 minutes of cardio and then 15 minutes of strength and then like 15 minutes of yoga. And that's like a great mix for me. So I like to kind of, I guess it's all about like optimization for me. It's like finding those optimal points on like a daily basis. And so it's not just like finding the right mix of classes. It's also like, I love that I have the freedom to do them literally whenever I want, on my own schedule. And if I'm not into a certain exercise or like I'm not feeling a certain class, like I can just change it up and do something else, and that's fine. So I really liked that aspect of going to virtual fitness classes. And I think like the instruction's still really good. You get to like interact with other people through the apps and stuff. I don't know. I think it's a great experience.
So like you found a medium halfway between that doesn't require you to be an ever-loving Equinox fan.
Yeah, it's nice too because instead of paying like $250 a month, I pay like $12.99 a month. So
that's far better.
Yeah, it's a pretty big win for me.
It's a big improvement.
Yeah, it was really wild.